This is your fault.
No.
This person...
No. No, it's not.
Hi, I'm Steve, and this is Then You Ruined It, a podcast where me and Jason try to get through just 20 minutes of human interaction without, well, ruining it. Buckle up, folks. It's gonna get bumpy.
So we know by now that I find many things gross. I find things gross that other people don't find gross, and you think it's funny, and we make a podcast out of it. In this case, I think you'll side with me, but it's possible not. I may still just be a weirdo. We'll find out.
I'm an X with anticipation.
I bet you are. When it comes to trimming toe and fingernails, I do whatever I can to make sure every single nail gets put in the trash. I trim them, in a whatever place. Try to do it over a trash can if possible, so most of it goes in there. And if one snaps off and goes flying across the room, I try my best, with my honed eyeballs, to watch where it went and pick it up as soon as possible, because I do not want anybody finding one of my finger or toenails. I think that's disgusting.
Are you concerned they might clone you?
No, cloning is not the issue. Okay. I don't want them to think I'm gross.
Okay, they already think you're gross, because if they're finding your finger and toenails, they're in your house.
Okay, I could buy that, but I also just... this one's worse.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not trying to fix you, I'm just trying to mock you. There's a big difference.
Trust me, I know you're not trying to fix me. We would have gotten somewhere with this show after all these years if you were. One of us would be fixed by now, or one of us would be better. That's clearly not what this is. This is entertainment. We may treat it like therapy for each of us, but we both know at the end of the day, none of us is getting better, and that's kind of the point. So, on that track, I went somewhere for Thanksgiving. I went over to another house to enjoy Thanksgiving dinner with people. I am leaving out names and places as much as I can because I want the guilty party to remain innocent, I guess, in the eyes of, all of our listeners. So I went over to a house, and I get there, and I'm like, oh man, I really meant to trim my fingernails. I don't bite my fingernails. I think that's gross. So I get there, and I see that I realize they're longer than I would like. Like I say long because they're not long, but they're longer than I would like. So I'm like, okay, I need to trim these. They have a trash can in the kitchen. I could sit over that. No, that's weird. You go upstairs. No, I'm not going to disappear for a while. Just trim okay. I'll just grab my nail clippers that I have in my bag, and I will... Yes, that's right. Of course I do.
Does this come up often? You travel with a pair of emergency clippers in your bug-out bag, just in case?
It's not a bug-out bag. It's very much a purse. I won't even call it a merce. It's a straight-up purse that I have now. And it is not an emergency. It is just my clippers. So I grab those and say, okay, well, I'll go out on their front porch. I'll do it out there. It's not that cold right now. And I can just... clip them right there on the stairs and watch the little pile that I have and then throw that away and nobody will know I was gone. Nobody will know I did anything. It'll be fine. So I do that and I'm out there for a while and I'm trimming and clipping and the natural light is coming down. So it's perfect. I can see what I'm doing and this is working out fine. And
best Thanksgiving ever.
It wasn't a bad start, I'll admit. So I had my trimmings, my little pile, and I swept them into my hand, took them back inside, threw them away in the trash can, put my clippers away and said, that is that. I am happy. Now my nails are a proper length and I'm not upset about it. And continue with everything. We have Thanksgiving lunch, dinner, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to sit on the couch afterwards at some point. And as I'm sitting there, the person that owns the house that I was at comes over beside me, and I'm not looking at that person because I'm like, I don't want to, bug you out or whatever. You're standing there. It's your house. You do what you want. And that person proceeds to pick up their own nail trimmers, which again, I'm kind of just looking out of the corner of my eye, very corner of my eye. Like, I don't know what's going on. Picks them up and just starts going to town. Just right there. I don't know where these things are going. Probably mostly on the rug right below our feet. Maybe flying through the air. I could have one in my pocket. I don't know. But they are just clip, 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 like with a reckless abandon to the point where I had to ask my wife later on. I was like, was that person doing what I think they were doing? She's like, yep, trimming the nails. That's exactly what they were doing. Okay. That's not normal, right? Yep, I'm aware. Okay. This person then went over to the kitchen counter and continued doing it. So they're all over it. She's like, yep, I know. I'm not going to say anything. And I was like, okay, but shouldn't we? I may be a weirdo for like being super clean about it and making sure they go in the trash can and nothing out where anybody would find it. Like, you'll find an errant fingernail clipping. I think it's disgusting, but most people just be like, oh, just throw that away. Gross. That shouldn't be out. But this person just, I mean, I've never seen somebody clip with such speed and like just like a angry raccoon. Just I was surprised they weren't just like gnawing at him while they were doing that. It's like, you just don't care about your fingers, do you? And then the fact that they like kept just walking across the room still doing it, I'm like, I already didn't think super highly of this person as far as like cleanliness and hygiene goes, but now it's like bottom tier. Like, what are you doing? So this is where I put it to you. Am I right? Or what is it? AITA. Am I the asshole?
Of course. So, okay, several things here. First off, this is your fault.
What? No.
This person wanted to just...
No, it's not.
Yeah, this person just wanted to sit down and enjoy some post-Thanksgiving bleh. But then they looked over and saw your perfectly manicured nails, and they thought, I also need to be like this. It was a keeping up with the Joneses, Jason, and you were the Joneses. So, I hope you're satisfied.
Absolutely. I've never been the Joneses. I've been trying to keep it up with them my whole damn life. I've never been the Joneses. I have kind of experienced something like that, though. Somebody stopped by our house the other day to see our Christmas inflatables. We have 4 of them now, and it's not that big of a number. But somebody like stopped to like look, and I'm like, whoa! We're one of those houses now. Hey, honey! Somebody stopped to look at our inflatables.
Do we need to get a radio station now?
I am not sinking those lights. Hell no. You will just put up with... I would love to have one of those radio stations sync to my house, but has nothing to do with the music. But people keep watching like, oh, yeah, see, it matches to that. See, the beat is right there. No, you got to watch really closely.
What you do, and I'm considering this now, get one of those, like, turn to such and such thing, and instead of Christmas music synced up with the lights, the podcast.
How long would they listen before they realize this is just a stupid podcast?
Wait, what? I think we're on the wrong one. No, this is what he said.
Keep trying. This is talk radio. Like, are you on AM? You're on AM. Or is this XM? Are you on the satellite radio?
No, talk radio doesn't say wiener this much.
Just keep listening for like, Jesus or Santa or something. There's got to be some mention.
One of the two.
Did these a-holes just put their podcast on the radio station of their house? I mean, the balls, man. Just the balls.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on. I think that's a baller move. You never know who's going to get hooked.
Yeah, that would win me as a fan. If somebody did that and I like accidentally listened to like 5 minutes of their podcast waiting for music, I'd be like, you know what? Hats off. I'm going to listen to at least like 5 episodes now and maybe give to like your Patreon for a week or something. I'll give you something.
So yeah, you brought this upon yourself. This is you were hoisted on your own perfectly manicured petard. But when you said you had a story about fingernails and that you assumed that I would be on your side about how gross and disgusting this was and how it ruined your Thanksgiving, I was 99% sure you found one in the stuffing.
I've never found a fingernail in food. I've found hair, and that's disgusting enough. I will very rarely keep eating if I find a hair. Doesn't even matter if it might be mine. It's just no. So if I found a fingernail, that meal is going in the garbage, and I'm going to take that garbage, toss it in the trash can dumpster receptacle, and light it afire. So it must be burned and of all impurities. No, I can't even imagine. If I found a fingernail or anything like that, I'm bad enough when I find like a used Band-Aid in my kid's backpack. It's like, oh, why'd you leave this in there? I want to throw it away at school. You weirdo. That's what the school is for. Leave your disgusting trash behind.
You know the Sigler family rule. A Sigler always pays his debt and throws their used Band-Aids away at school.
They have mice and rats and cockroaches at your school. Leave your used Band-Aids there.
We only have lizards in this house. Lizards and Siglers. The cleanest of creatures.
When you put it like that, yeah, it sounds a little damning.
So, all that aside, I would not cut my fingernails in front of people. I would probably just deal with I'm very self-conscious about how long my fingernails get. I hate being able to pick up dimes. I want my fingernails so short that I just have to leave them on the ground. which means I'm cutting them almost every week, like on a regular cadence. I keep fingernail clippers like within arm's reach of my work from home desk so that I can just keep them short there. Now, toenails are a totally another subject. Like, I will quarantine myself in our little micro bathroom where we have a bathroom and then we have a separate door just for the toilet, which I thought was really weird, but it's actually perfect for two circumstances. One is when you are having a nasty poop while your wife is in the shower. Like, it's nice to have, like, be in separate worlds. It's also great for toenail cutting because you can put your foot just right there on the toilet seat and clip there, and it's either going down into the toilet or up, banking off a wall, and down into the toilet. So that's how I handle those situations. Now, if someone were to sit down next to me at Thanksgiving and cut their fingernails in front of me, I would assume they are so crazy that I'm just lucky they're not cutting my fingernails.
Or something worse.
Yeah.
They just sit down next to you and just start slicing you with a sharp knife. It's like, whoa, what are you doing? Just wanted to see how tender the flesh was.
Too long. Although we have sat around as a family and watched my podiatrist brother-in-law do toenail treatment to my grandma after we digested a Thanksgiving meal. So, sometimes different families have different traditions, Jason. That's all I'm saying.
But watching like a procedure is different than I'm going to do this thing that most people do in private and definitely trying to keep it clean as they do it. I'm going to do it standing up as fast as I can. It's like, do you really have that many things to get to right now that you just have to get this done in like a minute? I've never trimmed my nails as fast as this person did. That's why I'd asked my wife. I was like, is that what they were doing? Because I couldn't tell. She's like, oh no, yeah, I was watching. It's like, well, I couldn't because I was right next to it, but it sounded like it, but it was so fast. And I'm like, yeah, I don't get it, and that's not how I do it. And I'm like, no, you eat yours. I know. It's like, shut up, don't bring me into this. Like, well, I have to because you're worse.
That's what this all was just a setup to point out to you know how gross that was? You're worse. You use your teeth.
I am absolutely the person that will get somebody on my side and then put them down to the point where they leave. Like, I was with you, but now I hate you too. Okay, I'm comfortable with that. That's where we usually are. I also want to point out that I can't help but picture you pooping in that little closet while your wife is showering and you just singing to yourself, I want to be where my partner is. Because you want to be part of that world.
I do want to be part of that world. But my world does not need her in it at that point. Like, my world is a horrible, horrible place, and I don't want her to have to experience that.
Wish I could flush and wipe my tush. Sneak in the shower while she's...
Yeah.
Anything I can think of that rhymes with that is going to get me in trouble, so I'm not going to say. I realize there's no reason to hold back on this show because... Yeah, the proper parties are not listening, so...
Well, okay, no, that's not true.
Well, some.
So my wife has a new job. My wife now works from home. My wife has started listening to the podcast, and we have had a serious talk. She's like, do you really need to talk about your wiener so much? I'm like, I don't know that I have to. She's like, answer me honestly. Do you think you need to get more listeners? And I'm like, it's obviously not to get more listeners. Nothing we do gets us more listeners.
Actually advertising the podcast. I love when anybody else finds out about it and they want to support us and it's like, okay, well, what have you done to advertise it? Nothing. Next question. That's all right. Who have you told about it? I don't know. Whoever sees it on Facebook. Next question. It's like, if you want to grow this, then why haven't you done these things? I don't know. Are you done? I also love that you're like, we had a serious talk, and the talk is the talk that you have with a middle school boy as he's growing up. It's like, do we really need to focus so much on your wiener, son? Well, my friends think it's funny. I get that. I do. And wieners are funny to some degree, but not all the time. And this is the talk that your wife had with you after she heard your podcast. There's a problem there. I'm not saying it's a problem we need to fix because it's a problem I have as well. Just saying it's a problem.
In my defense, I think she purposely picked the 3 worst episodes to listen to.
I would like to know what those 3 are, but I don't know if I would agree or be like, no, those are our best. It's our best stuff.
You'll think they're great, but they were also our most wiener focused. Like, she also listened to the one about chocolate chips, and I had to keep referring back to that one. It's like, you liked the chocolate chip episode. She's like, I know. Can't you talk more about chocolate chips?
I've already pointed out that my wife, her listening to it is accidentally listening to one that might post on Facebook. She might accidentally link to it. But usually I see the clips on YouTube and I like go through just a bunch of them at a time, just like, I'll watch these and just listen back to things. And she'll just be shaking her head like, I cannot believe that I let you do this every 2 weeks.
She should subscribe. At least my wife subscribes and goes out of her way to ignore.
I guess she could subscribe to the YouTube channel, but that might break up her conspiracies and ghost hunters and whatever else she watches on there.
Okay, compromise. She subscribes, and we talk about conspiracies and ghost hunting, because I have been dying to talk about both of those things. I just know you're afraid of ghosts. And the truth.
I'm very afraid of ghosts, but also I've listened to things recently where people just make fun of the ghost hunters and how fake it all is, and I'm like, have I fallen for it too hard? Like, why do I? Do I want to believe? Am I that gullible? I don't know. But yeah, we can pivot to ghosts. We've already pivoted once in like the last month. How's herping and burping coming along?
Hey, as soon as you get me some sodas and a GoPro, I'll go herping and burping. The other powers that you need to be careful of, I don't know if you noticed, but YouTube doesn't like us when we talk about our wieners either. The clips about our wieners are not the most popular ones. They do not do well.
Okay. Then make sure you don't clip out anything about our wieners. And
that's our best stuff. Like, I want to put our best foot forward, but our best stuff is all stuff that YouTube says we can't talk about. Can't talk about our wieners. Can't talk about setting each other on fire. Can't talk about giving herpes to random people. Can't talk about anything. Thanks, YouTube.
I try to put my best foot forward. It just happens to be that my foot looks like a penis.
My best foot is the middle one. My best foot is half a foot.
Doubtful.
My best foot is stiff in the morning.
My best foot is doing the best it can with what it's got.
My best foot is feeling neglected lately.
My best foot is making my wife proud, and that's all I care about, damn it.